Alright, I think I can finally do this video now. I don't think my phone's gonna fuck up anymore, but I'm hoping that it'll go through. But anyway, I want to talk about Neptune retrograde because it's been on my mind ever since Neptune went in retrograde yesterday, last nightish. I've noticed a shift. And what's crazy too is because Neptune, since it rules the dreams and illusion and the creativity realm and that whole aspect of life, because each planet pretty much rules an aspect of life of how you go about things in life, basically. When when Neptune goes retrograde, it's one of those energies. It's so subconscious because that's Neptune in general is the subconscious realm. It's so subconscious, and people didn't like even. And the thing is, it's almost subtle because it's an outer planet and it has such a large influence over the world and what's going on in the world. It makes it a situation to where it's not like the closer planets like the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, where they kind of like Uriel says, those planets in general. The ascendant, the sun, and the moon is basically the overall like appearance and overall character of what you are, and then the Mercury, Mars, and Venus touch on to other characteristics of your personality, the way you think, the way you love, and the way and whatever passions you have, etc., etc. And pardon me. But with Neptune, Neptune is more of a out there kind of influence. It has a dream, it has a subconscious. It taps into because the 12th house is the subconscious, collective subconscious realm. That's the house that energy has control over, or that's the energy that house has control over. And Neptune was birthed out of that house, like Uriel says. Neptune and Jupiter were both birthed out of that house. So Jupiter has these aspects as well, and Jupiter is retrograde as well. So Neptune and Jupiter are squaring right now. So they're both. So Jupiter bringing back past ways of being able to go through experience, past ways of higher learning, past ways of gaining higher knowledge of something. Pardon me, in Sagittarius. And then you have Neptune going retrograde, which is the dreams, illusion, your creativity, past ways of dreaming, past ways of daydreaming, past ways of going about creativity. I could speak for this myself. See, you see me do the beats on YouTube and everything like that, but I started off playing guitar. You see, if you've looked through some of my older videos, pardon me, I'm playing guitar, acoustic guitar, electric guitar, whatnot, and have you. But basically, it's a situation where I'm going back to my roots. Basically, I'm going back and studying my guitar scales, studying my core tones, some more theoretical music theory kind of stuff and shit like that. Which is basically, nothing more but adding the left brain and right brain aspect of what music is, because I feel like every aspect in life, everything, every art, every science in life has a left and right brain aspect to it. That's another video. That's a whole nother topic in and of itself. But anyway, Neptune going retrograde in Pisces, square in Jupiter. So past ways of learning. So it's like basically these two housemates. Since Jupiter and Neptune both rule Pisces, so they're basically roommates. They both own the house. They both have control over that energy. They both have entitlement over that energy. They're learning. They're learning from each other right now because Jupiter is basically like at its parents' house and everything like that, or like its other house and everything like that. Jupiter has two houses, whereas Neptune is like the stay-at-home mother at the other house. And this is Jupiter's other house that it goes to conduct its educational system and everything like that. And this is the house Jupiter goes to, to expand its mind, basically, even though it's already an expanded planet. That's kind of like the metaphorical aspect of like Jupiter being in the 12th house, Jupiter being in the 9th house. This is nothing I got out of a book. This is just something that I'm just that's just coming to mind. I feel like that's almost the best way to learn this kind of stuff is like, I'm not saying don't go into the books and, that's how I started. I started, watching 13 Signs Astrology. Shout out to Ram Hotep. He's always he's an original inspiration. Infinite Waters, Diving Deep, a Pisces. Oh, pardon me. It had Infinite Waters and 13 Signs Astrology. So I feel like it's best to just, you see what I'm saying? It's best to just, well, it's not best to just, basically, what I'm saying from my perspective is that those guys paved the way for me to study astrology. But even that, I don't always have to go back to a video. I mean, but I've watched so much content from so many people to where I have this shit literally ingrained from my mind, whether it's from a book, whatnot, or what have you. But it's like once you learn the bare basics and bare essentials of astrology, now you get to pinpoint and see how other things make sense and see other correlations. That's why Uriel, though the pilot man, is such a beautiful soul on this world, because he's able to, since he is Archangel Uriel in the flesh, he's able to make sense of what's going on. That Jupiter and Taurus energy, he's able to make sense of what's going on. He's able to take that triangular fire energy that he has, and he's able to bring it, because Jupiter's fire too. And the fact that he has a Sag moon, which is Antares, 8 degrees Antares, the fact that Jupiter is a ruling sign and his Jupiter is in Taurus, he's able to make sense of his wisdom, and everything that's filtered through that Sagittarian moon, he's able to have it make sense. And he's able to make it make sense onto this world. Higher meanings, reasonings are able to make sense. It's not fucking irrational. Archangel Uriel is in no ways irrational, regardless of what anybody says, what other left brain people says. The man makes so much perfect sense. Shout out to Dolo the Pilot Man. Fight boss, bitch. But anyway, this Neptune retrograde, it's a real subtle. That's Neptune retrograde in and of itself, just going through past ways of being mystical, past ways of, not gaining wisdom, that's Jupiter, past ways of expressing creativity and everything like that. Neptune retrograde is something else. Neptune retrograde, it kind of makes for a situation to where people go about certain things, especially if you have a lot of Piscean energy, if you're a sun, moon, or ascendant, especially if you have Neptune in Pisces or Jupiter in Pisces or even Venus in Pisces. That energy, that Neptune retrograde energy, it's strong. I mean, as we've been seeing, I'm not mentioning no names, but we all know that the drama that's been going on in the subconscious community and everything like that with a particular person. But anyway, we're not going to talk about that shit. But anyway, the situation is just Neptune going retrograde. Even people who are going about it, it's almost like people are telling on themselves. Because, like I said, Neptune is such a subconscious planet, and it's such a dreamy planet, that it's almost like people are like almost daydreaming and like bringing their daydreams into fucking reality, basically, like that. Heavy Piscean energies, people with heavy Piscean influences are almost able to bring their daydream and whatever they're fantasizing in their head to reality much faster than any other sign. Maybe a Scorpio or a Cancer, because that's that water trine. And I have a Cancer moon and I have a Pisces ascendant, so I'm actually feeling this energy quite heavy, to be honest with you. As far as going back into my music, even feeling certain past emotions about certain people and everything like that. Like certain people that I've cut off recently, there's still emotions that seem to resurface and everything like that. But it's just best to I use that Cancer moon, use that wave metaphor, and just fucking take my surfboard, fucking just go over that wave like it was fucking nothing. Even if it was a tsunami, I would still have to ride that tsunami as if it was nothing and still come out fairly dry. if you're surfing, real life surfing shit, you won't be too dry. But you know what I'm trying to say. So yeah, and it's also in your dreams. And see, it's kind of crazy because Neptune kind of went retrograde as I was dreaming 2 nights ago, as it went retrograde, and I could see it play out in my dream. I didn't realize it was going retrograde till I looked at Astrotheme that morning, and basically it was a situation where in my dream I had the highway scenario that I explained in my other video where I'm going on a highway. It was actually more of a sunny vibe. It wasn't like a dusk, purplish orange. The sky was blue and the sun was out. So that was more of a situation of communication, of happiness and everything like that. But it's also it was trippy too, because one of the people that I detached from that was in my dream, and it was almost making it a situation to where I had to hide this person, which that actually happened in the real life situation. I do not want to go into that situation. That's really personal. I don't even want to make a video about that shit, but that shit is really personal. But anyway, that happened. It played out as me being anxious, me being fearful in my dream. So that's just the energy signature that it left behind. So basically I was able to, thankfully, have my energy aside and, not really get too emotionally involved or invested into that particular energy, and finding out And even what happened with the whole, drama of the situation of the soul group and everything like that. As soon as I made the correlation, Pisces, Neptunian energy, I was like, oh yeah, that's it. That's it, right in the flesh. I mean, it's playing out, and that kind of gave me a head start of what this Neptune retrograde energy is going to be like. Because then you have Mercury going retrograde pretty soon. I don't know when, but it's within the next week or so. So a lot of retrograde energy. You still got Pluto going retrograde. You still got not Mars. You still got Saturn going retrograde. And you still have fucking Jupiter going retrograde. So you have fucking past ways of gaining structure and stability, and past ways of seeing reality. You have past ways of gaining experience. You have past ways of higher learning and gaining higher learning and wisdom. You have, past ways of transforming, past ways of gaining power and control over situations. And you have past dreams, past subconscious tendencies, even past habits, past drug habits possibly. Bruh, this shit is fucking crazy, bruh. And then Mercury retrograde going soon, so past ways of thinking. It's gonna be really crazy, really crazy. The sun, moon, Venus, and fucking Uranus and Mars are just gonna have to sit back and just see all this shit play out, basically. But yeah, anyway, that's Neptune retrograde. Peace.